Hey guys, Dan Goy here, Traveling Hypnotist. Had some technical difficulties, so getting a late start. I apologize. So if you were going to watch, just know that we are now live. So we're just going to change that background. So yeah, we are live on the site right at the moment, and we are broadcasting on our Facebook page, and I believe we're broadcasting on our YouTube page. So if those of you who wanted to watch, hopefully are still checking in, checking back to see what's going on. So tonight, what are we talking about? We are talking about utilizing, actually, I'm going to go ahead and check, make sure that we're live on YouTube since we had that technical difficulty and got a little bit of a late start there. Bear with me, guys. The joys of going live. I tried to go live earlier today with Brian Potts on the news from MIHC 26, and we did, but we also had a little bit of technical difficulties going on there as well. It seems to be the day for it. And I know that here in just a little while, okay, and we are live on YouTube. So here in just a little while, I'm going to be broadcasting again. It seems to be the day for broadcasting. So we are going to be talking about how to utilize your Expedia account to its best. And I am going to go ahead and just bring that up. As of course, we're still having that technical difficulty. See if I can put that in the link where I want it. So here we go. We'll get this done, guys. We're just having all kinds of fun. And I'm going to open the studio on my other monitor here as well. And that's just me pinging in because I've got to load something up here. And it didn't actually load on what I wanted it to do. Oh, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, that's fine. So, really? I am just having all kinds of difficulties here today. There we go. So, yeah, what are we talking about today as we get through these technical difficulties? We are talking about traveling. So, whether you are traveling to a hypnosis conference, to an event, or growing your business, one destination at a time, the biggest investment you'll make this year, one of the biggest investments you'll make this year is that traveling. So, and I will tell you from my own experience, I do a fair amount of traveling, hence the Traveling Hypnotist. I think I'm actually going to be putting an ebook together on this. So it will be pretty good. And I am just going to let Brian know that I am live. So, because he's like, hey, are you having technical difficulties? I'm just going to be like, I am live. So, a little bit of planning can save you a lot of money, hundreds, thousands of dollars. And I'm going to be honest about that. That is absolutely true. So that's what we're talking about today, taking that deep dive into one of the world's largest booking platforms, Expedia, how professional travelers like hypnotists such as myself utilize it. First, let me say this. Expedia is not paying me to do this. I am not associated with or employed by or in any way, shape, or form attached to Expedia. I've just been a long time Expedia customer and I have utilized it to my best advantage. So it has been very beneficial to me. I'm going to say that right now. So what we're going to cover, we're going to talk about finding better airfare, saving money on hotels, understanding Expedia's one key program. It used to be points, but now it's their one key rewards program. What blue, gold, and platinum mean, their tier membership, and perhaps most importantly, when you should not use Expedia for your hotel and instead book directly through the conference room block. So we're going to talk about that. So let's get into that first segment. So, and in the first segment, we are going to be looking at why Expedia is worth looking at, or why any travel site might be worth looking at. I know many people have travel agents and they utilize them. They book directly with airlines. They book directly through apps, and that's great. I've done it, but we're talking about this. So basically what happens is Expedia combines flights, hotels, rental cars, activities, vacation packages into that one booking platform, and so much more. So when you book your flight together with the Expedia and the hotel together, your flight and hotel together, generally you're going to get that bigger discount from Expedia on one or both parts of the reservation. Sometimes the airfare is effectively reduced because of the package pricing, and that is also maybe sometimes the case with the hotel. You get a little bit better rate with the hotel. So Brian Bay, how you doing, Brian? Brian says yes, discounted airfare and rewards. I like them, Brian. So that is pretty cool. And one thing that I will say as we get later on in the summit, we're going to talk about the summit, but because Brian Bay just made me think of it. So let's take a look at that second segment. Moving into our second segment here, understanding their key cache. And we're going to talk about the blue gold and what that means in just a moment. So Expedia now they have used a loyalty program for a long time. You used to get points. Used to be silver. What was it? Bronze, silver, gold. They got rid of the bronze. So now it's just blue, gold, platinum. I don't even think there's a silver anymore. So it is now called One Key, which combines rewards across Expedia, hotels, and VRBO, whatever. I didn't. Okay. It's completely free to join. Once you sign up on Expedia, you're in that program, basically. So trip elements are what move you through the membership levels. Here's where it gets interesting. I will say this. If I'm going somewhere on a trip, or if I'm going to be going to an event and I know it's coming up, I will start planning that event months in advance. Months. And I will do that throughout. That way, the way I do it, 99% of the time, I never have to tell the conference or the event I'm not coming because everything is taken care of long before I get to the event. And that's how it should be. That's how I do it. So that is just one of the great things. So the trip elements, here's how this works, right? Every hotel night, every qualifying, every eligible activity. So if you start at blue and you get to, I want to say 15 trip elements. It used to be 5, you got silver, but I think now it's 15, you get to gold. And that's not that hard to reach because if you book your flight, that's a trip element. If you rent a car, that's a trip element. If you get a hotel, that's a trip element. If you buy a ticket to go see a show, that's a trip element. In one trip on a conference, I can usually get about 5 or 6 trip elements out of that because I've got to get what I'll do is, of course, I book the airfare. That's a trip element. And each booking can be a trip element. If I'm bringing 2 people with me, that is 1, 2, 3 bookings. That's 3 trip elements. Then there's 2 hotel rooms. That's 2 more trip elements. Then I get hotel transportation. I rent a car to get us from the airport to the hotel. That's another trip element. I buy a show or 2 shows. That's a trip element. I get an activity. That's a trip element. Then that is 6 or 7 trip elements. And if something's happening, if I'm going to go somewhere, I see something, I don't tend to just go there. I'll book it on Expedia while I'm there. That's another trip element. So in one trip, you're at 8, 9 trip elements. So if you go to 2 conferences, that's gold. You're going to be right there. So all this helps to build your status. And the higher your level, the more the discounts add up. So let's start with blue. What does blue mean? So everyone begins at the blue level. It's the entry point. So there are no fees. There's no minimum of spending requirements. There's no commitment beyond creating the account. You will get some slight member-only hotel pricing. Not a lot, but some. Discounts on thousands of hotels worldwide, often, 10% or more off the standard rates. I'm at the gold. I will say this actually happened to me. We were heading out to Las Vegas for the summit, taking my business partner, and I received an alert through my Expedia account. I was able to book 3 hotel rooms for 3 or 4 of us that were going. The hotel rooms were $48 a night. I booked 3 hotel rooms, 4 nights, under $1,000 in Las Vegas. I want to say it was like $700 for all 3 of those for all 4 nights. And that's because I was at that higher tier level. And it worked out really well. Why did I do that? Because I took my business partner with me and she likes to stay at the different hotels. So even without spending anything extra, that blue level that we're still talking about does gain access to those hotel savings. The ability to earn key cash on eligible bookings, you are going to earn those. You're going to earn that key cash. So basic travel tools like saved itineraries, price tracking, for someone attending 1 or 2 conferences per year, Blue alone may save enough money to offset some of your meals, any parking, and maybe even those baggage fees. So it also gives you the foundation to start building that reward program. So let's look at gold and platinum. This is where I'm at. Am I at platinum or am I at gold? I think I might be at platinum. But okay, so never mind that now. Let's talk about that. So as you continue to build and you're traveling, As you continue traveling, you eventually move into the higher tiers, higher total hotel discounts, bonus one key cash earnings. So yeah, you go from like, okay, you get maybe one key cash, you get into the gold level. Now you're getting like two key cash for 2 or 3 for every booking. Sometimes I will earn on a single booking $15. And that's a single booking. I've seen that happen. Some of them are as low as 48 cents. I'm not going to lie about that. Some are as high as that $15 mark. Right now, I've got about $112 sitting in my key cash. That's $112 I can use to take off a hotel night on top of the savings, right? You don't lose the savings. I get that 30 or 40% discount. I use that one key cash. That's another $112 I'm taking off the price of that hotel. So that could take a hotel for 3 people down to $700 down to $600. So that's a pretty good savings. You get those VIP hotel perks, sometimes free parking, room upgrades if they're available. I've gotten that. Special offers throughout the year. I've gotten those. I've gotten offers to get hotel rooms in Las Vegas and other places for $5 a night. I wasn't able to take them, but I took it. If I would have been able to, I would have taken it, right? One important point on this is the room upgrades are never guaranteed. I'm going to say that right now. If they're available and you're able to get them, they're based upon availability by participating VIP access that you will have. So if they're participating and they have it, you may very well get that room upgrade. The hotel is not sold out because of major conferences. There may be just simply no upgrade. So we can view those perks as a pleasant surprise. So let's move into the next segment. And this is, what do those savings actually mean? So putting it into real numbers, suppose you attend 4 conferences each year, and maybe the airfare, $450 round ticket, maybe more, but we'll start there. So Brian says, use hotel comps, airline points, and rental car rewards on personal travel. If you're going for a conference, write off the expense on your taxes. Consult your tax professional. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Brian. And I write off all my travel, even if I'm using my reward points through Expedia. I'm still able to deduct that because I paid for that travel. It was a business trip, and I saved money, and I'm getting it back in taxes. So that works out really well. So now you get to the hotel. The hotel is around $200 a night. So that's roughly $1,000, maybe a little more than $1,000 per conference. So, or over $4,000 if you're going to 3 or 4 conferences. So even if you save 10% on those conferences, that's roughly, you're getting about $400 back. So, and when you get into that 20% back bracket, you're now approaching the $800 savings. So this becomes significant. And I've done that. Here's where we're getting into some mistakes. The next segment, airfare tips. One mistake that many travelers make: they check only one flight instead of using Expedia to compare. Now, you don't have to use Expedia, but it can be a tool to compare your pricing on those flights. Take a look at it. So use Expedia Compare. Different departure times, nearby airports, airlines, flexible dates, watch for package pricing. Sometimes moving your trip just one day can dramatically reduce the airfare. And I will say that. I think I flew out 2025 to Las Vegas. I flew out on a Wednesday, and the airplane ticket was $176, as opposed to flying out on Thursday. The airline ticket was $350. So that one day, more than half of that was awesome. So if you remember, and if you're earning frequent flyer miles, people are concerned about this. Even if you book through Expedia, you're still going to get those miles. The thing with miles is, though, here comes in the thing. You can't do it in Zone 8. If you get the economy basic, Delta, one of my airlines, they don't give you the miles. You've got to kind of spend a little bit more. You can't do the economy basic. You got to do maybe the economy plus or what have you to get those miles, but you will get those miles. And the great thing about this is, on my site, on my Expedia account, I have all my travelers. I have everything I need. I have their names, their birth dates, all that stuff put in there. So all I have to do is punch in who's going on the business trip with me. It is set up on that account. If I'm going, boom, I punch it. I just click on it. There I am. If Heather's going, boom, I click on it. If my cameraman is going, boom, I click on it. It's in. I don't have to fill out a bunch of stuff. I have my airline miles for both Delta and United. Those numbers are added in there. So I'm getting those miles. I have my known traveler ID. It's in there. So that's going on my ticket. I don't have to do anything extra. I just buy the ticket. Everything goes on there. Miles, known traveler, go right through the easy security, and I'm done. So it's a good thing to have on that account setup. I love it. So Brian Bay. So sometimes flying first class is more economical after you factor in baggage, fees, lounge access, and better seating. Yeah, I will never be allowed to fly first class, Brian. I don't think Heather's going to let me do that, like, ever. So yeah. So let's look at the next segment here. Hotel Expedia versus conference room blocks. Here's where we get into it. Probably the most valuable advice in this episode is this: just because Expedia shows a lower hotel rate doesn't automatically mean it's a better deal. So let's compare. Expedia may be better when you're extending your trip, you're staying at the host hotel, the conference hotel is sold out, you're using key cash, which I don't get that. I can use key cash for other stuff. I don't do that. And you find a significant promotional rate on your bundling your trip. Here's the thing: book direct with the conference when the conference has negotiated a special rate. Package parking is included, breakfast is included, resort fees are waived because that is huge. You're going to get special conference perks from that, i.e., free valet parking. You're going to get that breakfast. You're going to get all kinds of good stuff. You need flexible cancellation policies negotiated for you. If you use your Expedia, the conference cannot help you with hotel room issues. So it is best to book through the conference rate so that if something comes up, you can contact the event coordinator and they can work with the hotel and help you out. If you're a third-party guy, you can't do that. So I'm just going to say that right now. Also, the event that you're going to really depends on that room block commitments. It does. Because many conferences negotiate hotel pricing based on how many attendees stay inside the hotel block, the hotel room block. When attendees book elsewhere, the conference organizers lose meeting space discounts, incur financial penalties that might be there available, and they also lose the ability to negotiate a better room rate next year. So if they know they filled their rooms and the hotel says, oh, you guys did great, you filled your rooms, that's awesome, and we made this money, Beautiful. The next year, that's another negotiating point. Hey, last year we did this. This year we'd like to do this. So really, really think about that. So booking through the hotel, booking through the conference hotel sometimes helps support the event itself. And that's what we need to do. We need to be supporting those events. So please, please, please take that advice. This year I am staying at the Summit, and I have booked through their rooms. So I might have to extend my stay. So I'm going to have to get a hold of them and figure that out. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, paying that extra 10% or saving that extra 10% just isn't worth it when you're dealing with the hotel rooms. So last segment, final travel tips. Before booking, compare on Expedia. Compare the conference and the hotel. Compare booking directly with the hotel. Check baggage fees. Look for cancellation policies. Factor in parking, breakfast, transportation, airport distance. What else can I tell you? Mm-hmm. Always calculate the total trip cost, not just the nightly room rate. All right? The cheapest room isn't always the least expensive trip. And as I say, these things can really save you a lot of money. These tips can save you a lot of money by doing this. And I think I am going to put that ebook together and really lay it out for you on how I'm able to pretty much get to the conferences that I'm going to go to, especially with Hypno World Magazine. Sometimes we're going to every conference in a year, and that's 4, 5, 6 conferences. So that's a lot of travel and a lot of expense. But we never, very rarely, I won't say never, very rarely do I have to cancel on a conference just because of the way that the travel is laid out. So, hey, I hope you guys are having a good night. Everybody is staying happy, healthy, safe, and cool in this hot weather. And you know what?